Number 7.5, discuss and consider approving an interlocal agreement by and between the City of Granbury and Hood County for a planning study of Old Granbury Road to be performed by Teague, I don't want to miss their name, Nall and Perkins, and for the county to participate in the funding of the preliminary study of Old Granbury Road already completed, and authorize the city manager to execute such interlocal agreement. Mr. Coughlin.
So after our intergovernmental meeting we held back in January, I worked towards putting together an interlocal agreement and presented that to the Commissioners Court last week, reflecting what y'all voted on at that meeting. Y'all, if you'll remember, you voted on moving forward with the study and the city being the lead of that study to implement the study, to work with engineers for that study. And so we took it to the Commissioners Court. We were planning on taking it to Commissioners Court to 26, but someone else asked for something special on the agenda, so it kind of popped up on the agenda to discuss and not take action at the last meeting. So I went to the meeting and reviewed everything. We also had Teague, Nall, and Perkins staff there, Ryan Jones and Joe Atwood, and they were challenged with amending the agreement to include no fee charge changes, but when we get the study complete, to be ready to do the plan specification and engineering and renegotiate a new fee for that part of the study. And so they're going to draft that and send it to me, I hope today or tomorrow, and that way I can get it to the Commissioners Court next week on the 26th. But the gist of the plan has not changed from what you previously voted on, but the recommended action that I'm asking you to consider today is approve and authorize the city manager to execute the proposed interlocal agreement with the lead entity to be determined at the Hood County Commissioners Court on February 27th, 2024. I believe that's the right date. I've been saying the 26th, but let me look. If I can get my phone open. Yes, that's the 27th. That's when they meet. Now then, what happened was I asked them what they wanted me to present at the meeting on the 27th, and they felt like they couldn't answer it. And I said, you can always instruct someone what you want on an agenda without violating the Open Meetings Act. I said, so do you want the city to be the lead entity or the county? So the judge expressed that he wanted the city to. Nobody else expressed anything, but we couldn't get consensus. So I said, how about I bring one both ways and let you choose at the meeting? And so that got a laugh and a smile, and we moved on, and they agreed to do that. So if that's not what you want to do, by all means tell me, and we will take care of it however you want. If you want the city to be the lead entity, leave it as presented in your packet and make that amendment. If you want to leave it open for me to go to the court and try to reason with them why we should or shouldn't do that, I'll do that as well. Any questions? I mean, y'all have seen this multiple times on the agenda as well, so
Mr.
kind of plowing old ground.
Mayor, just a comment. Chris, thank you for going to Commissioners Court and having this conversation. As Chris said, we had a meeting back in January, our intergovernmental meeting, our quarterly meeting, and we went through all the details on this. This is the planning study. It's a $228,000 study. The city's already spent a little over $13,000 doing a preliminary study just to get us to this point. And I think as everybody realizes that, we've got obviously continued growth. That was the kind of the theme of our intergovernmental meeting that I heard was growth. And so, we would bear a portion of that, 60% by the county, 40% to the city. I made a motion to approve that, and that was voted on by City Council. And as Chris said, there was no action taken by the county at that meeting. And Chris, thank you for the follow-up on that. And I did, in the motion, suggest that the city take the lead on that. And I think I still feel that way personally. So that's kind of where we are with this. And I'll close my comments and wait for others.
Mr. Wadley?
At our joint meeting, the commissioners agreed to discuss this at their next meeting, and you're saying it was not on their agenda? I mean, you talked about it, but...
Well, it was discussed to engage Teague, Nall, Perkins to move forward with the existing preliminary study that we did and go ahead and start construction. And so they had to explain to them that they can't start construction because there's too many unknowns that the study that's been presented needs to answer.
Would solve.
Like, what's the right-of-way needs for those improvements? What utilities are going to have to be relocated? What utility companies have to be contacted? What's the soil conditions? All that stuff that they need to figure out. All we really did was a traffic impact analysis study, and from there they were wanting to move forward with construction, and so we had to explain to them that they can't. Now, I'm not criticizing them for doing that. What I'm saying is they don't know what they don't know, and they just thought, okay, as a commissioner's court, let's just say let's go build this road, and they can't do that without the study information provided. So they were presented that, they understood it, so that's when they said, well, we'd like for you to change this agreement to where when you get through the preliminary study, you're ready to move forward with the plan specs and engineering, and you'll come back and tell us what that's going to cost, and then we'll keep going. So they're really wanting to do something, but they just can't get across the finish line administratively. So hopefully this will get them there. But again, if you want the city to be the lead, just adopt the interlocal agreement as what you want done, and that's the way it's written.
Well, and I feel like the city should be the lead. The county is 60% and the city's 40%, but thus far the city's taken the lead on this entire project, and I would be concerned that it might stall. So I would like the city to take the lead, just because, well, you said they don't know what they don't know. I feel like we do know what they don't know.
And I would like to also add that I did mention to them that even though the city's willing to fund this 40% of this study, it could be a good use of that road and bridge tax that all the citizens of Granbury pay, just like the rest of the county citizens pay. So really, in essence, by us paying that 40%, and I told them this, we're double taxing the citizens of Granbury to do this study. But it's worth it, in our opinion, to get it done.
Other comments? I'm in the same mode as Dr. Wadley and Mr. Vail here. I believe it is in the best interest of the city that the city be in the lead on this. At the same time, I believe that we've got to get moving on this, and I trust our city manager to be a very good negotiator and not disappoint. So, I hate to, you guys have to make the motion. If the motion is that we accept this, either way, if you're the lead, we're the lead, and we're trusting Chris to make the argument that is proper and best for the city and the county. When it's best for the city, it's going to be best for the county in this case, certainly on these roads. Then let him do it versus them stymieing the project another literally weeks and months at this point in time. So, Mr. Rodriguez, if you can help me with that.
Yeah, Mayor, I know this has been one of the contentious items on everybody's political career as these feeders roads. I mean, it's been prior to me coming on as an elected official. I know it's been mentioned at some of the other elected officials when they go up before and get questions about how we're going to manage traffic. I think this road is very important. This contract that we're trying to execute and the study that we're trying to execute has been something that we've been working on to try to do an interlocal agreement to get both of the entities to work hand in hand on this.
And the city has done all the work on this.
So far, the city has done the work, and hopefully we can we can be the forefronter on this, just like we have been on the radio system. We just need to get it across the line and get it moving. So I make the motion that we approve and authorize the city manager to execute the proposed interlocal agreement with the lead entity to be determined by the Hood County Commissioners Court on February 27th. Let me rephrase that. I don't want, Chris, I recall my motion there, Mayor. Let me ask Chris. We don't want them to be the lead, do we, Chris?
I'm desperate enough to do whatever we need to do to get this project going. At the same time, do they have the staff? I just don't know that they do on board. And the judge fully comprehends and recognizes that, and the rest of them are really quiet. And I really feel like that they were hesitant to say anything because they felt like they were violating some kind of Open Meetings Act. And that's not what the case was at all. So, but they kept saying, that's not on our agenda. That's not on our agenda.
Well, I like the city to take the lead on this.
Make that motion and I'll try to get that done.
Okay, so, Mayor, I amend my motion to state that I approve and authorize the city manager to execute the proposed interlocal agreement with the city of Granbury being the lead and provide that information to the Hood County Commissioners Court on February 27, 2024.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Hear a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Approved 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. Got
Thank
your work
you.
cut out for you.
Yes.
We'll see what we can do to help.